Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum assalam, sir.
I just wanted to know that everybody can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, we are listening you. Your voice is clear. Please go
That's
ahead.
brilliant. Thank you very much. But we'll start in maybe just in 1 minute time or so. Some people are still joining us. Right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us today in this session. It's going to be very brief as most of you are, well, actually everybody of you is doing the online classes. So you are very much familiar how to operate the Google Classroom, how to set up the quizzes using the Google Forms. And then I'm sure you are taking assignments as well. So you're very much familiar. So it's kind of a refresher, you can call it, along with maybe some of the things a university wants us to do. So maybe we can start. So I don't want to keep on holding you for very long. So maybe hopefully, inshallah, in 30 minutes we'll be able to wind it up. Right. Okay. So first of all, let me share the screen. Right. So is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Challenge. That's good. Now, basically,
Yes, sir, it is.
depending on different faculty members, there may be one part of the paper, or you may want to divide the exam paper into parts. Now, having said that, the purpose behind this was some of you may be doing some MCQ section, and some of you may not have any MCQs. So briefly, first of all, if I can ask you what you actually need for your exam paper, you need to have the exam instructions, which the university has shared with you. And actually, yesterday I sent over one Word document as well, which is a generic. So please, make some changes into that document. For example, your own course code, the title of your course, then along with your own name, and then total marks of the paper, and so, date, etc. So if that's ready, then secondly, if those people who are going to do any objective test or multiple choice questions, then they should have some MCQs as well, which if I can show you, your MCQs question should be in this form. Like you should have a question, okay? Whether it's one liner or 2 lines or 5 lines, whatever, you should have a question, and you should have 4 options. And in these options, you can see I didn't put any option A, B, C, and D. So you can just have the 4 options without denominating them with A, B, C, and D. Okay. Right. Now, basically, once we have the first cover sheet of the exam paper, then we have the MCQs. Then the third thing you should have would be the question paper of the exam. The question paper should not include the multiple choices. Okay, so it should all be subjective or narrative. Okay, such as maybe I can share one like that question paper, and ideally it should be converted into PDF. Okay, so this is like just one style. You don't need to agree with it. Okay, so just the common thing that it should have the front cover sheet. Now this is an old one, so it had some MCQs. So please remove the MCQs from the question paper. So it should be like longer questions, section B type, or you can say any case, etc. But this should be one document. Okay, so you're not going to make like 2, 3, 4 documents for different sections. So if let's suppose you are setting up 2 or 3 textbook style questions, please make sure that they should be in one document. If you are setting up a case, that should also be in there. So it should be one full-fledged question paper. Once you have these preliminary things, okay, so let me repeat: the exam format, like the front cover sheet; number 2, MCQs in Word; and number 3, the PDF of your exam paper. Then the next phase is we need to upload it on the Google Form or Google Classroom. So first of all, very quickly, I will brief you with the Google Form, which you are aware of it anyway. Just need to refresh. So I can open any Google form. Let's say it's a blank quiz. Okay. Now, first of all, you need to put down the title. Okay. So for example, it's the, if you are teaching Pakistan economy. So something like that kind of title, you can put it. Then you can actually copy and then move towards the left side, and here, remove this and paste it. Okay, so that's basically the first part. Okay. Afterwards, what you are going to do is, if you want, you can put any instructions. Otherwise, I will show you how to put the instructions. What now you need to do is, you will actually, can you see this add section? So wherever the cursor I'm moving, can you easily spot it?
Yes.
Okay. So here on the right hand side, I can add a section here. So it would be the next section. Okay. Now in the next section, what we are going to put would be, here you can mention down, let's suppose, student IDs, student name. Okay. If you want, then the next section I can open here would be student ID. So this is all about, like extra bits of details which we can ensure that we are getting the students to fill in these things before they start the exam paper. Once they have put it, then the next section, which I can put it in the first as well, but that's not very important. This is kind of very important, where I'm going to ensure that my exam paper is password protected. Okay, so in order to protect with the password, here I can write down password, and it will be a short answer. Okay, now as far as the short answer is concerned, if I click on the answer key, here I need to write down or type the correct password. So for example, here I can put down 1234. Okay, 1234, and make all other answers incorrect. So I need to click on it as well. Then in the answer feedback, just one moment. If I can just move this bit here. Okay. So once I put that down and click on done, here I will make it ensure that it is required section. Then these three dots, if you can see them, if you click on that, and then one is description, and second drop down in the menu is the response validation. If I click on the response validation, here you can see under the correct answer 1234 number, it is number. Then in the next drop down menu, you can see greater
Cursor
than.
is not working, please.
Okay. Can you see under the password here? Can you see here number, then greater than, and in the greater than.
No, sir. No, sir.
So you can't see the screen?
No, sir.
No,
No,
your
sir.
screen is
It's
frozen.
just
No,
showing
sir,
your
your screen
Frozen.
is stuck.
I think after the password, when mark all other answers incorrect, we have not been able to see it.
Okay,
Yes. After
let
three
me
dots, it's not showing.
let me do the screen sharing again. Okay. Okay. Can you see that now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So basically, we can see now the password. Then here is correct answer is 1234, or any of the password. Of course, you will put down your own bit stronger password. Then the number in the next one greater than. Now, if I click on that drop down menu, greater than, you can see here different options. Please click on equal to. When you click on equal to here, make sure that you need to put down number 1234, because if the answer is 1234, then it is the correct answer. And here, the next to 1234, there is the custom error text. In the customer error text, you can type anything, but I'm going to type wrong answer. Now, what will happen when the student will type any of the wrong password? The student will get this message, wrong answer. Okay. Or you can write down, you can type actually type again or try again. But if you don't type here wrong answer or type again, what will happen? Even the student will put the wrong password. The correct answer will be visible to the student. Okay, so you must ensure that here you put down the wrong answer. Okay, so you, I mean, can I ask you all a question that you can add the sections? You know, you can see my cursor here, add section.
Yeah.
All you need to do is just click on, keep on adding the sections, and you will keep on making anything extra. So if I can add next section, and here I can mention down exam instructions. Exam instructions. What kind of instructions would I like to give my students? Now here, you know, the exam instructions, which basically a file I sent you, what you need to do here is, here is a file attachment icon. Can you see my cursor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you click on it, now this will allow you to upload the file. Okay. So I click on browse, and I think it was in my desktop somewhere with the sample or exam format, I think. Yes, exam format. If I click on it, you will see that exam format will be here. Okay, so it's just like, you know, from one of the previous ones, but you need to ensure that you fill it in properly, and any instructions, whether the calculators are allowed or not allowed. Okay, any open book exam, whether they are allowed to open the books, etc., etc., any websites, and so on. So whatever specific instructions which are relevant to your exam paper, you can actually put down in the file and then attach it. Okay, and ensure that it is required as well, so that the students are not missing anything. Okay, now the sequence. As far as the sequence is concerned, once basically I would rather prefer this sequence, that first of all the exam paper, then the student name, then the student ID, then the password, because from here important information is coming. Once the password is set up, then the exam instructions, and so on. Now once that part is done, then I will add another section, and this section is, for example, you, some of you are doing the MCQs. Okay, so here is the MCQs, and let's suppose your marks allocated are 10. So I can mention MCQs 10 marks, or I can put down, let's suppose 10 questions, something appropriate in the title. Now I need to add the questions, which is very easy. You know how you can.
काई साहब जस्ट फॉर इंट्रोडक्शन, लास्ट ईयर पता जब हम कर रहे थे ना, तो हमने इससे ऊपर एक और चीज ऐड की थी, याद आपको? ओथ भी लिया था स्टूडेंट से।
जी 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 जी, ओथ मेरा रह गया, मैं ओथ आया हुआ है, बिल्कुल मैं अभी आपको दिखा देता हूँ, बिल्कुल आपको
हाँ वो
बिल्कुल
लास्ट ईयर याद है, सबसे पहले ये सबसे पहले मैंने किया था, ठीक है?
ऑनर प्लेज, बिल्कुल जी, ऑनर प्लेज मैं अभी आपको दिखाता हूँ, बना हुआ है। I will show you. Thank you for reminding me. I will show you in a minute. Okay, so when you are going to add the MCQs, so for example, I can show you. I'm going to, let's suppose, add this question, which may not be relevant to your courses, but just as a sample. So here I copied this question, and I go back to the Google form, and in the question part, I can paste it. So this is my question. Then I need to select the 4 possible options. So I can copy them as well. Once I copied them, then click onto the option 1, okay, and then just paste. And you would notice that all options would be pasted right there. Okay. Now these are 4 options. I can select any of the answers. So please, my apologies if I'm picking up the wrong answer, but I just wanted to make sure that, let's say it's 1 mark. Okay, let's suppose that's the right answer. Okay, and then required, and then shuffle the option order. Okay, so basically you've been doing the quizzes many times, so you know the sequence already. Likewise, you can do the same thing by adding the click one, and that will add the question. Then you will click again, you will add another question. You will click again, you will add another question. So this process goes on. Okay, once basically this has been done, this part has been done, then the next one is to add it into the Google Classroom. So that's why I asked you to add, one of my Google Class, this midterm examination. So when you come on to the midterm examination in the Google Classroom, here is the classwork. And all you need to do is create, okay, create. And of course, it's your exam paper. So you can pick up, quiz assignment because it's the MCQs. So once you will click on the MCQs, because here I had saved it just to ensure that I can save a little bit of time, and I can show you here. That will be added in there. If I, just one moment. Actually, I can show you my Drive and Google Form, and then I can add it as well. Okay, so here I had created another one. You can see here, this is basically the honor pledge, which I was talking, some learned faculty member was talking about. This is what we had created, but I will check with the senior management if they want to give us any specific university-wide honor pledge, so we can actually copy and paste that one. So this is usually used in many of the universities, standardized ones. So basically what we do is read instructions carefully and type the statement, I affirm that I will abide by all examination rules of the AU and neither provide nor receive any help on this exam, and that all work will be my own. So, this is a general pledge, but we can ask the university in a day or so, and if they can, because these are, vacations. So once we receive a proper pledge from the official one, we can actually post that. So this is how basically we are going to set up the quiz. So I was coming about, here, create quiz assignment. And let's suppose it's 10 marks. Okay. There is a due date. I can pick up any. Okay. Time optional. So basically now this is, you have to be a little bit careful about. For example, your exam paper is starting at 9 o'clock and you want to give, let's suppose 10 minutes or 15 minutes to the students to complete this section. Okay, let's say 15 minutes. So here you should put down 9:15 a.m. so that it would be closed in 15 minutes. If your exam is starting at 11 o'clock, then you can put down as 11:15, 11:20, depending on, how much time you want to allocate. You are a better judge. So you can actually put down in this. And you are going to assign to all students. Okay, but before you actually, you do, better to do saving wala. Here I can put down MCQ section. Okay, whichever course you're doing. And here I can add that question paper from my Google Drive. And this will be saved in here. Ensure that grade importing is there, because that will help you to automatically mark the question paper. And if you look at on the right hand side, top right hand side, assign. Please don't assign, otherwise it will go to the students straight away. What you can do is you can just save the draft. And once you save the draft, then students won't be able to see it. Okay, I can show you. If I go to stream, you will see that the students don't have any communication here. Okay, any notifications here. So you can just save it. Now, this was the first part. Okay, I'll take your questions at the end. This was the first part, recording the MCQ. Second part is the longer questions or subjective types. So once you have the PDF version of the subjective type, what you need to do is, it's very easy. Okay, you can just click on create, click on assignment. Okay, and here the subjective part, or you can call it part B if you like. Okay, Pakistan economy or investments, whatever the course you are teaching, and here add. Okay, now if it is on your desktop, you can save, get it uploaded from the desktop. Like I'm going to do it from the desktop here. So that will be uploaded just within a second. That's been uploaded. Now here are the points, the marks. Now, whatever the total marks are, make sure that deduct the MCQ marks. So for example, total marks of my entire paper are 50. So out of 50, 10 marks were assigned or allocated to the MCQs. So the remaining 40 marks go here, so that, you know, we are not actually duplicating anything. Again, you are very familiar with the due date. Okay, whatever the date is, you know, and then the time. Let's suppose your exam should finish at 11 o'clock. So you mention here 11 o'clock. Okay. And again, please do not assign. Make sure that you are going to save it. Here, there are some instructions. If you fancy providing some specific instructions, like use of calculator is allowed, open books, or anything else, you can put the specific instructions which are relevant to your course. Otherwise, they are available in your question paper anyway. And then we will click on save draft. Okay, so no scheduling, no assigning. At the moment, you will just save the draft. Okay, now the draft has been saved. So for example, I click on this and I click on this sample paper. Let's see what happens. Now, can you see my document is protected? Okay, so it will not open until I put down the password. So if I put down the password, then only it will open. So please ensure that your exam paper is password protected. Okay, just in case, you know, that if something goes wrong, it is assigned by mistake, the students still cannot access your exam paper. So make sure, you know, you put down some stronger password and protect your document. Okay, now let's suppose, because we are still in this learning phase, what if I assign, let's suppose I assign you the MCQs. Okay, and I assign the subjective part. Okay, can any of you please check if you have received these question papers? That's why I requested you to add my Google Classroom. Can anyone confirm if you received it?
Yes, sir.
If you can check on your Google Classroom and see if you received this stuff. Because if you look at the stream, you can clearly see that I have posted a new assignment, midterm examination, spring 21. And then I posted a new assignment MCQ section.
Yes, it's showing.
It should be showing because I have assigned. So whoever people are in my Google Classroom, okay, so quite a few, you know. Thank you very much for joining to my class. So this is how basically we will assign to the students. Now, if there are any questions, because we are running out of time, so we have just under 10 minutes. If there is any question, we can maybe discuss here. Yes, Sarahad, you have a question?
सर थैंक यू सर आप हर दफ़ा बड़ी एफर्ट करते हैं सर एक सिर्फ क्वेश्चन इसमें यह था कि इन केस वी हैव एन सब्जेक्टिव टाइप पेपर तो उसको भी सर हम क्विज की फॉर्म में बना सकते हैं फॉर्म के थ्रू जिस तरह लास्ट टाइम हम लोगों ने बनाया था स्प्रिंग 20 में
जी साहब आप बिल्कुल बना सकते हैं. यू आर टोटली ऑथोराइज्ड टू डू इट. ओनली थिंग इज अगर आपने देखा हो तो आई ट्राई टू कीप इट एज सिंपल एज पॉसिबल. गूगल फॉर्म में एक जरा थोड़ा सा मसला है. एमसीक्यूज की हद तक तो बड़े मजे से जाता है. एमसीक्यूज की हद तक जो है ना वो स्टूडेंट्स ने क्लिक करना होता है. राइट ऑप्शन या रॉन्ग ऑप्शन को वो क्लिक करते हैं और वो हमारे पास सबमिशंस आती रहती हैं. लेकिन जहां तक ताल्लुक है ना जो सब्जेक्टिव टाइप क्वेश्चंस हैं वो फिर आप गूगल फॉर्म में वो सेक्शन बाय सेक्शन ऐड करते रहते हैं. और रिमेंबर मैं जब वो सेक्शंस ऐड कर रहा था कि जी आप उसको क्लिक करें तो वो सेक्शन ऐड हो जाता है. तो ये जब आप सेक्शन ऐड करते रहते हैं, ठीक है जी, तो वो उसमें ये होता है कि फिर आपको यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन को अपलोड करना पड़ता है एज अ पिक्चर, क्योंकि वो क्वेश्चंस लंबे होते हैं. बैलेंस शीट्स हैं, इनकम स्टेटमेंट्स हैं, और कोई चीजें हैं, मैथमेटिकल क्वेश्चंस हो सकते हैं, इक्वेशंस हो सकती हैं. तो यू हैव टू अपलोड द क्वेश्चन बाय अटैचिंग द पिक्चर. तो उसमें फिर ये होता है कि अब वो उसके बहुत लंबे सेक्शंस हो जाते हैं. अब जब गूगल फॉर्म बहुत ज्यादा लेंथी हो जाता है तो वी हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड ओवर द लास्ट 2 सिटिंग्स कि वो अपलोड होने में या टर्न इन होने में बड़ी प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं. अच्छा, जो केस स्टडी होती है वो बाज़ का जो है ना 3, 4, 5, 6 पेजेस की होती है. एंड एज फार एज द केस इज कंसर्न उसमें और ज्यादा कि जब आप इतना बड़ा वो फोटोज अपलोड करना भी बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. तो वो जो पीडीएफ जो है गूगल क्लासरूम पे, दैट इज द मोस्ट ईजिएस्ट वे टू कन्वे योर एग्जाम पेपर टू द स्टूडेंट्स. इस वजह से आई जस्ट वांटेड टू कीप इट एज सिंपल एज पॉसिबल कि आप क्विज की तरह एमसीक्यूज ले लें और जो लॉन्गर क्वेश्चंस हैं वो जीसीआर पे असाइनमेंट की तरह दे दें और स्टूडेंट्स को इंस्ट्रक्ट कर दें कि दे आर अलाउड टू टाइप और राइट. हैंड राइटिंग इज ज्यादा बेहतर. उस वजह उसकी ये है कि उसमें चले वो जो कॉपी पेस्ट वर्ड से तो कॉपी पेस्ट होने में 2 मिनट भी नहीं लगते, लेकिन जब वो वही स्टफ किसी से ले के भी हैंड राइट करेंगे तो वो सारी सी बात है, कुछ पढ़ेंगे, कुछ सोचेंगे. तो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे ऑब्जेक्टिव इज लर्निंग. तो समहाउ इफ दे कैन लर्न वी आर हैप्पी विद दैट. एंड और आप जब मार्क कर रहे होंगे तो प्लेजरिज्म वगैरह भी आप चेक कर सकते हैं, सिमिलैरिटीज वगैरह इस तरह से. तो जस्ट वांटेड टू कीप इट सिंपल. मैंने सिर्फ ये जो है ना एक क्विज की तरह गूगल फॉर्म और असाइनमेंट की तरह जो है ना वो सब्जेक्टिव पेपर.
थैंक यू
जी,
सर. थैंक यू.
एनीवन? If there is any other question, because otherwise हम और भी गूगल क्लासरूम में और गूगल फॉर्म्स में बहुत सारी और मैनिपुलेशंस भी हैं, लेकिन जस्ट टू इंश्योर कि हम सारे इसको सिंपल इजी वे में गुजारें, हमारे लिए भी इट्स गोइंग टू बी एन इजी एक्सपीरियंस. द स्टूडेंट्स जो ना उनके लिए भी ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेशंस ना हो. एक चीज़ अगर मुझे याद रही हो मेंशन करना तो मैं अगर उसको
हाजी साहब एक क्वेश्चन.
जी जी जी.
आपने अभी कहा कि हैंड रिटन हो तो बेहतर है, एंड देन यू सेड कि आप प्लेजरिज्म चेक कर सकते हैं, तो वो थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग था, उसको थोड़ा इलैबोरेट करें.
ये एक चीज है वैसे. जी सर, बिल्कुल यू राइटली सेड कि हैंड रिटन से प्लेजरिज्म चेक नहीं होता. अब वर्ड, वैसे तो हमने लास्ट टाइम पे भी वर्ड में भी स्टूडेंट्स को अलाउ किया था. फाइनेंस, अकाउंटिंग, टैक्सेशन में इतना ज़्यादा वो प्लेजरिज्म चेक होता भी नहीं, लेकिन जो नैरेटिव काइंड ऑफ कोर्सेज हैं जिसमें वो ज़रा वो टॉक्स एंड डिस्कशंस, वो उसके लिए सर फिर अगर आप वर्ड में भी करना चाहें तो मेरा ख्याल है कि फिर आपको यू मस्ट हैव टू क्रिएट सम एनालिटिकल क्वेश्चन sort of thing rather than define this and explain that. उसमें छोटा सा एक scenario, and then from the scenario basically students have to go deep down into the information, और फिर उसके बाद अगर वो टाइप भी करते हैं तो I think that we can give them benefit of doubt कि ये उनका अपना काम होगा।
वो सिनेरियो में अगर कोई एक बंदा goes deep down and shares it with the others, तो वो भी तो रिस्क तो है कि वो भी कॉपी तो हो सकता है। whatever scenario you give, there is that chance
जी।
people
अच्छा,
would
उसमें फिर सर
copy.
ये है कि ठीक है वो टाइपिंग इज वेरी मच, और यहाँ पे आपके पास टर्निटिन की भी सहूलत है, जीसीआर में भी यहाँ पे इसका प्लेजरिज्म चेक का टूल होता है। तो यस, मैं आई मीन
I think हम वो क्लैरिटी ले लेंगे एग्जाम से, अभी भी still have time for this कि वो is it absolute 100% that it has to be handwritten या उसमें टाइपिंग की गुंजाइश है।
जी, वैसे उनके रिकमेंडेशन है हैंड रिटन, लेकिन यस सर प्लीज हम उनसे बात कर लेंगे।
Excuse me, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Sponsor Rahila here. Sir, as I am conducting case studies in my class, so how I will do it in exams कि बच्चे case studies को कर लें, आपने उसके बारे में सर अभी नहीं बताया।
अच्छा जी, केस स्टडीज देखें, वैसे भी हमें the exams are time bound. The students must have to complete the exam paper within 2 hours. So I mean we must have to be very very rational. कि अगर हम MCQs भी थोड़े से दे रहे हैं तो उनको 10-15-20 मिनट लगेंगे, then they are going to do some textbook style questions, उसमें भी टाइम लगेगा, and then as far as the case study is concerned, please we need to ensure that they should be mini cases rather than very very long cases, but because you would appreciate that it takes a lot of time just to read the case study, let alone to answer the requirements. So
Sir, you meant to say we should exclude the case study part in this exam?
no, I'm not saying. I'm saying if you want to add the case study, please ensure that it has to be reasonable in length. It should not, I mean, I can't just make the ruling here, but I never given the case study in mid-exam, which is for more than 3 to 4 pages.
So definitely it is having 3 to 4 pages, but I'm here about to ask how I will conduct it on online exam in PDF form, like like section this section C we need to discuss.
It's Rahila, that will be actually part of your question paper. केस स्टडी जो होगी ना, आपके जो क्वेश्चंस होंगे उसी का हिस्सा होगी जो पीडीएफ वर्जन में।
ओके,
हाँ जी, तो वो उनको एक ही डॉक्यूमेंट मिलेगा जिसमें शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे और केस स्टडी भी होगा कन्वर्टेड इनटू पीडीएफ, और वो क्वेश्चन, हाँ, उसकी आप सीक्वेंसिंग कर लीजिएगा, क्वेश्चन 1, क्वेश्चन 2, क्वेश्चन 3, इस तरह से, सो दैट द स्टूडेंट्स आइदर दे आर राइटिंग और टाइपिंग, वो सीक्वेंसिंग के मुताबिक जो है ना वो क्वेश्चन नंबर दे के लिखें, एंड देन दे कैन टर्न द होल डॉक्यूमेंट ओवर टू यू।
ओके सर, आई गॉट यू, थैंक यू
जी। और वैसे भी हमने एक सेशन और रखना है स्लाइटली एट अ लेटर स्टेज, कि जब स्टूडेंट्स आपको टर्न इन करेंगे तो फिर मार्किंग और वो सारा कुछ, वो इंस्ट्रक्शंस के लिए हम एक छोटा सा 20-30 मिनट का एक सेशन और भी कर लेंगे। दिस वाज जस्ट हाउ टू अपलोड द क्वेश्चन पेपर।
थैंक यू सर।
जी, we have less than a minute, so if there is any question,
yes sir, Mcqs here.
Vikas.
Sir, isn't it better to schedule the assignment instead of saving it as a draft?
I mean, you can schedule it maybe like a few hours before, like one day before the exam.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason is that I'm not an IT expert. Basically, my knowledge is very very basic. So I don't know. I mean, if the